This news update is brought to you by...
Got kids? Then you need video on demand from Flow, with hours of entertaining shows and movies for boys and girls of all ages. There's always something to watch. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we Flow.
This is the Barbados Today afternoon news update for Wednesday, January 27th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Central Bank Governor Dr. DeLisle Worrell says the social partnership is not being used enough to address the problems facing the economy. Economists have also identified several areas in need of improvement, including an inefficient public sector, low productivity, and the slow build out of the renewable energy sectors. But Dr. Worrell told a televised panel discussion on the economy last night that despite the challenges, 2015 marked the beginning of a sustained economic recovery for the island.
There is one sector which has the potential to be transformative in the economy, and where we have begun to move in the right direction, and that is alternative energy. And one of the things that has the potential to transform our economy. Right now, our projections are that growth will average a little less than 2% over the next 5 years. That's lower than it should be.
Economist Professor Andrew Downs says he welcomes the growth in the tourism industry in the past year, but there are also challenges of growing other sectors.
Be very uncompetitive from an international perspective, but I still think there will be a local demand for some of these products in the agriculture sector, manufacturing, especially agriculture. I still think there's hope for the agriculture sector. There's still a lot of the unused land for livestock and vegetable production, and that sort of market gardening type of activity can take place. And there's always that ongoing demand in the restaurants and the hotels for local produce. So I think what we need, however, is to be able to get those sectors, agriculture, and not so much manufacturing. I think manufacturing will have to be specialized, as DeLisle indicated, in selected areas. But I think there's still hope for aspects of the agriculture sector. I think the issue has to be the extent to which people will be interested in engaging activity in those sectors.
Industrial action is brewing at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Workers are planning to protest the non-payment of employees dating back 5 years. President of the National Union of Public Workers, Akani McDowell, says the shutdown is one option, but sources intimately involved in the dispute told Barbados Today that Friday is the agreed date for the action. McDowell says the union will be meeting with staff this afternoon to further discuss the matter after recent correspondence from management did not satisfy the union's demands.
I have said that I will do whatever is needed to make sure that those workers get what they deserve. And if it means taking the airport management to the level where they are uncomfortable, then I would do that. If that includes protest action, shutting down the airport, whatever. But the workers are owed money and they must have it.
The NUPW says it is the bargaining agent for about half of the airport's 400 staff members. Police could have sweeping powers to crack down on domestic violence under a proposed new law. Debate began on the Domestic Violence Protection Order Amendment Bill of 2016 in Parliament yesterday. Under the law, police must respond to every complaint alleging domestic violence and complete a report which will be recorded by the Commissioner of Police in the Domestic Violence Register. It also allows a junior police officer to issue an emergency protection order and enter premises without a warrant if there is reasonable ground to suspect an order has been breached. Police officers will also be required under the law to provide any assistance, which may include medical attention to the victim or ensuring the safety and welfare of children or other people on the premises. Law enforcers may also seize any ammunition, firearms, or other weapons in the possession or control of the perpetrators. Prime Minister Frundle Stewart is promising substantial amendments to be made to the Public Service Act. Stewart made the disclosure at a recent meeting with the Barbados Union of Teachers. He says a number of changes have already been done, and he's hoping the amended act will be completed during the first half of this year. The Prime Minister noted that trade unions will be invited to give feedback on a draft report based on their recommended changes. The recommendations will also be put in a draft legislation and circulated to the unions.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, an ongoing dispute between the Guyana Teachers Union and the Guyana Teachers Commission has come to a head, with teachers staging protests over the issue of promotions. We get the details in this report from Capital News.
Fed up on the lies! Over and over! Fed up on the corruption! Over and over!
In a show of their displeasure, 39 representatives of the Guyana Teachers Union General Council picketed the Teaching Service Commission office on Brickdam today. GTU's President Mark Light said the picketing demonstration was sparked by the Commission's disregard for the current injunction before the court after a teacher was recently promoted.
The chairwoman responded by saying we are misinformed, that we are telling lies on them and stuff. Apparently when she checked or whatever, she realized that it was happening indeed. So they did withdraw the appointment. But we're saying, if there's a chairperson for the commission and you are not aware that appointments are being made, then who is doing the appointments?
When Capital News sought a response from Leila Ramson, chairperson of the Teaching Service Commission, our news team was told that there was no comment at this time. But in a Kaitor News recording moments before our request was denied, Ms. Ramson could be heard saying she was surprised by the union's action. The chairperson even admitted to what she calls human error with that recent appointment.
And finally, a Brazilian doctor says the country is still in the dark over the Zika virus and how it affects its victims. The mosquito-borne virus is spreading throughout Brazil and the Americas, and pregnant women are being advised on how to protect themselves and their unborn babies. More in this BBC report.
Rio is a city preparing for big events in the middle of a big public health crisis. The city's Sambadrome Stadium being fumigated today ahead of next week's annual carnival parades. Olympic venues will receive the same treatment in the coming months. The Zika virus continues to spread across Brazil, and people are still coming to grips with its devastating impact. Little is known here about microcephaly, its long-term impact, and how families, often with few resources, will cope.
At the first I cried, but I talked to God, and now I know I will get through this. But there are a lot of people out there who are very confused and scared.
With so little known about the long-term impact of microcephaly, there have been instances of new mothers abandoned by partners and babies being rejected. This little boy was adopted by another couple.
60 combate a dengue.
The government's tried to placate public fears about Zika and other viruses, announcing today that more than 200,000 soldiers were being deployed in the fight against disease-carrying mosquitoes and their breeding grounds.
That's the news. Join us for another update this evening. You can also log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune into Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM for the latest news. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good afternoon.